Hey folks, it's next day. It's day 44, being porn free, porn subs free, and I'm about to head out to the engineering building. I was gonna go to the library, but thought we better go to the engineering building, assuming they're open today. If not, then it'll be the library on the silent floor. So I gotta force myself to get some work done, and just wanted to, I guess you could say, like, impart like a major point that I've kind of come to the conclusion of, and it's sort of, it's like all of my other videos lately have been like kind of expanding upon this point, but I just kind of thought about it today because you see, like, I'm sitting here in my room and all these things that I need to get done. It doesn't really matter per se where I am physically. The jacket I'm wearing, whatever. I could get them done. I could have gotten them done earlier, but it's all like based on like what I carry within myself, and that's the big thing that I've realized on this whole Nofap journey, is that the change that you want is all within yourself. Assuming that we're not talking about extreme circumstances, but on average, it's really what's within you. And I'm reminded of that scene in The Empire Strikes Back with Yoda, or between Yoda and Luke. And there's that dark cave that Luke's about to go into, where he faces the apparition of Darth Vader, and he's putting on his belt where he has his lightsaber and his father's lightsaber and his blaster pistol, in the holster, and he's about to put that on. And Yoda tells him that essentially, like, you don't need your weapons, only what you carry within you, because the cave itself, it's not, in a sense, like, it's not. I mean, the physical cave was real insofar as the universe is concerned, the Star Wars universe, but all the challenges, all the dangers you face in there, by and large, or manifestations of the dark side, and in particular reflecting your own dark side, and it's kind of like that's the big struggle we're all facing on this journey, insofar as, like, we're trying to change ourselves, change our lives, and it's really all facing stuff that comes from within ourselves, And this is where you get to talk about underlying issues and whatnot, but I'm relating this more towards as I get on in this journey, like, moving away from it being about PMO and it being about other things. Like, for instance, my procrastination issue. It's like, I could be sitting at the library, I could be sitting at the engineering building, and I can choose to do any of a bazillion things other than my homework or my assignments or what have you. And it's not really about where I'm at. It's about what's in here. Excuse me, and what's in here. And that's where the change has to. That's where the change has to occur. That's where the change has to result. Like today, for instance, I watched a video on becoming a morning person. That whole concept, that whole change, because that's something that I've had varying amounts of success at, but it's been something that I've wanted to have become just a part of who I am. Like, for instance, with Nofap, I wanted to become one of those pretty people who doesn't do that kind of stuff. Doesn't do PMO, and I've gradually become more and more like that. It's to the point that I don't do that even if I have access to it. Like, I have my smartphone, I could go fire that up and go and look at things all I want to, if I had the desire, if I had the drive, if I had the will to go do that, but I don't, Which isn't to say that there isn't temptation, because I know that it exists, but the will to go and actually act on that is not there. So how do I take that and put that against, procrastination and, a trillion other things in my life that I don't like than things that I want, And, it's like, I think Ex Nostradamus kind of talked about it, because he was related specifically to PMO, but it was kind of like his talking about some of his videos. It's been a while since I watched them, because I've kind of gotten to the point where, like, it's kind of old hat, Nofap, but he talked about, like, putting, like, blocking programs on your computer, your laptop, your desktop, whatever, to block certain websites and we know which specific websites we're talking about. We're talking about Nofap, and his idea was that if you're gonna relapse, or if you want to relapse, if you want to go look at that, you're gonna find a way. It might slow you down, it might make you a little frustrated, it might make you think twice, but if there's a will, there's a way, and you're gonna go and relapse. And it's the same thing with all this other stuff in life. It's really what you carry within you. If you want to procrastinate, if you don't want to do your assignment, if you want to avoid the anxiety of possibly either losing points or getting a zero, if you want to avoid the possibility there, the anxiety of studying, or applying for a job or whatever, you're gonna find a way to do that. So it's kind of like you gotta find out what you need to do to remove the underlying anxiety, the cause of that. And I'm going out now because it's not about literally where I'm going, but it's more about me forcing myself to do that. So sometimes it is a bit of the environment aspect, but ultimately, even then, the environment just exists there. You're the one who chooses either to stay there or to go someplace else or to change your environment. It all comes from here, even if you're talking about the environment influencing you. Like, for instance, I've learned that I'm a high aesthetic learner, or that's where my learning preference is. So, I could sit here and I could be like, well, my room is a mess, therefore I'm not going to study. Why don't I just clean my room up and then I can go study? I'm still having to work with the environment as it is, but I can change it to make it such that I get work done instead of just sitting there and using that as an excuse to not do the work. And again, that's from within. That's from within that has to start. That will, that desire, that effort to change. So um, maybe I won't get everything done while I'm out at the engineering building or at the library, but I can at least get the ball rolling, get some things done, and maybe just being around other people who are being productive and working and studying will, start that process in my mind. But even then, that's me deciding to put myself there, So it's something that has to come from your own power and your own drive, and ultimately, it's what you carry within you. So before I ramble on anymore, tomorrow will be the halfway mark to the day 90 goal, and I got a midterm tomorrow in my aviation class, so I gotta really get onto that. I know it's kind of like almost like to some extent it's kind of like cramming for the class, but then again, like we've had homework assignments and quizzes, and I kind of know in general what's going to be asked, but and I have the practice midterm, so work on that sort of thing. Yeah. So, anywho, um, just remember that it's within your power to create the change that you want. It's within your power to get over this PMO addiction or PMO problem. But you really got to ask yourself those tough questions. You got to be willing to do the work, and you got to understand that it's not just the stress, or anxiety, or the actual physical action. It's something deeper than that. And until you make that change, you're gonna most likely be facing that desire to relapse. So, or the desire to just not change your life in whatever aspect it may be. It might not even be a PMO, but anywho, thanks for watching, and see you guys around. Bye.